So a year ago, I actually made one of these. It's a color tier list. I figured, you know what, that one did exceedingly well. I couldn't tell you why, but it seems like you guys have a lot to say about the colors, so I figured Brawlhalla added a couple more. We're gonna run them all on Rano Wushang because I think he's a character that just has a good color palette overall, and you can kind of see the colors for what they are. But here's the tier list we're gonna be using, ranking them from S to F. F being the absolute ones that are just, you know, why are you wasting your time with them? If you're using them, you're trying to probably be ironic. And then S, personal favorites, and then just the ones that I think are without a doubt the best made in the game. Okay, up first, we have base stance. Base stance, especially on a character like Rano, I think it's super feasible to run. With that being said, I think some characters' base stances, you know, they're not the best. I think base stance is one that it's going to look good on every legend, but is it going to be the best? Not necessarily. Usually not, I would say. Blue isn't really that bad of a color, but I will say it is one of the base colors, so already, you know, there's plenty of other colors you can use that have blue, so why would you normally use just the base blue color in the game? Yellow, I like how vibrant it is. It is unique. I actually used to think it was much worse, but I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to put it in B tier because, again, once you get into A and into S, that's when the actual colors, the ones that have multi-colors in them, that's when you're in like that category. It's just a different echelon. Green, you know, I'll also give it B. It's interesting because green also has hints of yellow in it, which is kind of nice, whereas blue doesn't have that and yellow doesn't really have that either. So it's interesting to see green have like some slight multicolor. I have nothing to say about brown. The best part about brown is the red in it. So at that point, why are you using brown in the first place when there is multiple colors that literally have red in it? Purple, also an interesting one, kind of like green, where it has those hints of blue in it. It has the multicolors in it, but also purple, and this is personal preference playing into it a little bit. I'm trying to leave it out as much as I can, but it is hard at the end of it, especially when ranking the colors of Brawlhalla. But B is not a bad ranking, especially for a base color. You know, I'm starting to actually warm up to orange more. Orange, I'll go ahead and put orange in B. I think it's a color that I like the, like, I don't know what to call it, the maroon, the darker, like, pinkish red that you can have on it. And also, it's not super harsh, but it still allows for the character to be very visible on the screen. And on a character like Rano, it isn't a bad option. Cyan. Cyan's one that I think, honestly, I'll put it at the top of B. I think Cyan's a color where it's just a better blue. It's a lighter blue. It offers that orange in it, which is very, very nice. And again, when you're looking at like a character like Rano, this is why I use this skin. It just looks so good. Sunset, I'm actually going to put Sunset, I'm going to put it in A. I think Sunset on some characters looks very, very good. You can't really see it, but on like a character like Lucian, let's say, the hair would be like blonde, which is really odd that they went with that. But it has the pink, purple, and a little bit of orange depending on the skin. It can look very, very good, or it can just be like kind of like, you know, it's there, but it's not necessarily the best color on a character. But a lot of the times it's a step above the rest of the base colors for sure. Might get a little bit of hate for this. I'm gonna put gray in C. Never been a fan of it. I mean, it's just dead. It's kind of lifeless. The orange is the best part about it to me. But yeah, it's just, if you like gray, you're probably going to use it. But aside from that, I can't really imagine many people using this color. Personally, I think pink is kind of underrated. With that being said, I don't know if I can put it in A tier. A tier, again, that's where the multicolors really start to take effect. The ones that are very, very good, clearly better, the special event ones. So I'll put pink at the top of B. And yeah, that's where it's going to be. It's hard to put it any higher. Red. I love red. Now, normally, and I think in my previous one, I might have put in red at S tier. In this case, I'm going to put it above Sunset. And yes, this is bias definitely taking into effect, but I'm not going to put it in S. I love red. It's one of my favorite colors in general. So seeing this like darker red is, it's very, very nice. I wish this was the red that the team color was that we'll end up ranking later. But, you know, it's super solid. Out of all the base colors, it's just personal preference. So I got to stick it up there in A. If you're someone who struggles with visibility, I think white is a fantastic color. But at the end of the day, it's literally just white. Possibly the most bland color in the game. I'm going to put it at the bottom of A just because I think the visibility factor is huge. And personally for me, that's why I've used that color for such a long time. And I was waiting on a color between white and red, which we'll get to later. But yeah, that's why I used white all the time. It made it easy to see when jumps were gone. I could always keep track of my character easily, and it's a clean color overall. But again, it's still very, very bland. Black's gotta be one of the coolest colors in the game. I think I'm honestly gonna put it in S. I don't personally like black. I think it's too dark. It's too hard for me to see. But with that being said, I can't discredit it in the fact that the black and red schema is just so good. And yeah, it's one of the most classic ones. If people don't have the special colors, you're almost gonna see them always decking out their level 25 or higher with black. You better be in a holly jolly mood if you're gonna be using the winter holiday colors. This is one of the earlier event colors that they added, and I can say they've definitely improved them a lot. I'll put it in C just because I think it can be pretty good, but at the same time, it's never anything crazy, and some characters it just looks completely gross on. It looks just like a mashup on, and that can be the issue with some of these multicolors. Lovestruck, it's kind of the same deal. I do like the red and pink together, and it also can have some hints of white in there. So I'll actually put it, you know what? I'll put it top of B actually. I think this is okay, and again, it's probably personal preference speaking just because I like the red, pink, white schema more than the red, green, white, and just how they do it in general. So for the time being, gonna have Lovestruck in B. And again, this is the crazy thing about the Rana Wushang. Heatwave overall is so bad, but in this, it looks so good, or it looks pretty good. I don't want to say it looks so good. I love the blue. I wish they did more of this blue. I don't know why they didn't. And Heatwave at its peak, when it has a lot of blue, can look fantastic. But aside from that, it's extremely bland, and I honestly think I have to put it in D. The blue makes up for it and prevents it from going any lower, but when I saw this color first come out, I was so disappointed when it actually dropped because I was expecting it to be some cool, really cool, like peachy, white, and like teal blue, or I don't know what to call it, cyan, I guess, but just that lighter blue color, and it really went heavy on the peach color, which I don't think was a good move. Personally, I've never been a fan of Haunting. With that being said, I know a lot of people are, and I think on a lot of skins it can look cool. Darker color schemes in general seem to be pretty popular, so I'll put it in A, but with that being said, personally, I don't really like it. Home team out of principle, I gotta put it at the top of A for the time being. It is one of the coolest colors to ever come out, I think. I remember when it first came out, I was like, this color is insane. I like the red. It has black on it, but also has that gold element to it, which is a really, really nice touch, especially on this skin. You look at the eyes, you look at like the band around them. It's really cool, but I kind of fell out of love with it a little bit. With that being said, I still think it's a cool color that you can use on just about every skin. It's really hard to gauge Lucky Clover because it actually looks pretty good on this skin, and it's definitely better than base green. I'm going to put Lucky Clover, I'm going to put it, I don't know if it's actually above Haunting, but I'm going to put it right beside it for the time being, above it. It's very, very green, and as you can see in the eyes, it has some gold to it. Some skins it's going to look good on, other skins it might not look that great on. It really depends if you care about green. If you're not a fan of green, then you might not like it that much, but at the end of it, it makes it work on a lot of skins. The color works on a variety of skins. It just, are you a fan of green? I don't know. Gala, I think, is fantastic. This came out for the 5th year anniversary, I think, for Brawlhalla. I think this color, honestly, you know what? I'm going to put Gala in S tier. I really think Gala holds up still. I think the last time I did a color tier list, I did put Gala in S. So Gala looks amazing. I think that the purple and white is very, very nice. It's just that I think at the end of the day, I think there's a color that did it a lot better. The only person I've ever seen use this color is Snowy on default Rayman, and I don't even know if it looks that great. It's just a very washed out color. I guess it kind of reflects that because it's like supposed to be a springtime sort of color, but I don't know, man. It's gotta be like, it's honestly gotta be at best, jeez, I don't even know, because it's so washed out. I'll put it at top of C, but it's just, there's no liveliness to it. It doesn't pop out really at all on any skin. And if you can find a skin that it pops out on, maybe it works, but for the time being, really, really hard to say if it does. Charged OG, I think a lot of people like this color because it is black, but it also has some hints of green. So if you do like the green, then you're probably going to be a fan of this. Personally, I'm going to put it below base, but I do think on a lot of characters it can look very, very cool, including Rano. So I think a solid placement in the upper half of the A ranking is fair. Soulfire, the first Battle Pass color scheme to come out. I honestly think this is better than base in just about everyone. With that being said, it kind of blends together a little too much on certain characters, which I'm not really that much of a fan of. Personally, I think this is easily the worst Battle Pass color scheme. I just don't like the colors. Yeah, it fits that Synthwave sort of feel. But with that being said, I'm honestly going to put it in B. Sometimes it feels like it's just doing too much. It's just a bunch of darker blues and stuff, and then you have the like pink wrapped around. Maybe at its best, it can look very, very good, but that's on what feels like very few characters. It's just a weird mashup of colors, and I think that's where they went wrong. On the other hand, though, Frozen Forest, I actually think is a super solid color. I'm going to go ahead and put it at the bottom of S. I do like the white. I do like the green. It's more of a minty green almost, which is much, much better than like the winter holiday one. And pretty much any other green on here. It's not like super, super bright. And it just really fits the theme of the Battle Pass 2 and manages to look very, very good. They definitely came around compared to the Synthwave one, that's for sure. Honestly, I'm just going to put this at the top of S. I think this is the best color in the game. This is the color scheme that I've been using ever since I started playing Brawlhalla. I've always loved red, and white was just super easy for me to see. Well, Code Alliance makes that, best of both worlds. It has the accents of red that really add to it and bring it alive, where the white does a good job at maintaining visibility for the character. So pretty much every time I have the choice of color, I'm gonna be playing Code Alliance. I realize now actually that Starlight isn't in here. With that being said, I'd honestly give Starlight, I'd put it probably right below Code of Lions as the second best color in the game. It does the same thing that Code of Lions did, except it uses blues this time, which is really, really cool. And personally, I'm a fan of the blues. Skyforged, I gotta give Skyforged probably a top of the A. When it was first introduced, I think a lot of people really liked it for the darker scheme, yet having extremely, extremely vibrant and deep colored blues. It's really, really nice, but then other colors came along, and I think it just kind of slowly got phased out and maybe outclassed a bit. And I'll just go on to the next one for sure. Goldforged. Now, Rano makes it work, but at the same time, I feel like Goldforged just looks worse than Skyforged on a lot of characters. Sometimes it feels like it's doing too much. Throwback to Synthwave, like I said. I'm putting Community Colors in D, but it is for sure better than Heatwave. The orange and the blue is really, really good, but then it's like this weird, like washed out brown color, which I think a lot of people do not like. It was the first unique multicolor, so I will give its respects there, but at the end of it, they've done a lot better with all the colors. And I think just having that unique color really skewed some people's opinion. And now that basically everyone has community colors, it's like, well, okay, it's not that unique anymore, and it's not really worth using. Esports 1, off the rip, wasn't really that much of a fan of, but I will say I think Esports 1 is probably better than Soulfire, but it's also it's probably worse than like Home Team and the Forges and everything else. But it's just like a matter of, do you really care about the darkness that it has on some, and do you like orange and blue? I personally wasn't really a fan of how much black is on some of the characters. It feels like an odd combination, so that's why it's just going to reside in A tier. Esports V2, though, I think, again, is a step up, kind of reverse from the Skyforges. V2, I really like the red. I think red looks much better with the black than like the orange and blue. It's more simple. It's almost like the opposite of the Code Alliance. And I think on a character like Rano, at its best, it looks extremely good. All right, so the Team Red color, honestly, it's just miles worse than the other red. But with that being said, I think it is still better than, you know, these bottom 3 colors. But it's just like, I wish they used the other red so much. It looks so much better. I don't see why Team Red and Team Blue have to exist. But with that being said, Team Blue, I do think is actually, it's a half decent color. And you know what? I'll actually put Team Blue at the top of C, just because it is better than the normal blue. But with that being said, is it really that cool? No, and you can't really use it outside of teams, so does it really matter that much? Not really. I'm curious though to know what you guys think of the colors. I really do think Code Alliance is the best color they've released to date, and I honestly think that a lot of you will agree, but let me know in the comments, and I hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next.